Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. It is Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, boys. UFC Vegas 93 to go over, UFC Saudi Arabia to go ahead and preview, as well as a bunch of news which broke last week after we filmed the pod. Certainly a classic tradition. Getting really tired of it, but it's never going to end. You know, if we film the podcast on a fucking Tuesday, then we're just going to break on a Wednesday, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just one day later. That being said, folks, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We'll break into some ad reads, though. Rogue Energy, they keep me fueled up, whether I'm at home, at the gym, wherever I am, though. They get me to the finish line. They can help you as well. With code SOUNDOFF, all caps, check out for 10% off their amazing, fantastic products. ELYXR.com, they're going to get you really high with their Delta 8 products. Once again, all caps, code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off all your Delta 8 needs. They got more stuff than just Delta 8, but hey, that's what I personally enjoy. Take a couple edibles, have a fun time, you know? And you guys should do that as well if you want. So once again, code SOUNDOFF at checkout. Well, Angel, you and I were actually decently excited for this card. However, I don't think in execution it was as good as we wanted. In the main event, Tachi Retard defeating Alex Perez via knee injury in the second round. It was back and forth up until then, you know. I enjoyed the fight for what it was. And to be fair here, it was an incredible reversal from Tachi Retard, which seemingly caused the injury. But look, man, hey, what'd you make about his win, moving up in the division, and 24 years young, looking like the real deal Holyfield down to 125 pounds?
I mean, he looks like a 24-year-old like prospect that looks like he's on pace to at some point potentially challenge for a title. You know, still gets touched up on the feet every now and then, but I mean, dude, the ground we know the ground is his game. You know, we know that's where he wants to be at. That's what he's wheelhouse want to do. Explosive on his takedown, by the way. I fucking love that shit. Yeah. Creative, you know, obviously backpacking him like that, the way he tried to take him down, sweep him. I mean, it was very fun. Obviously, the fight, it's weird. When fights end like this, I kind of feel like, I don't know exactly how you feel about them. There's people who don't consider them victories.
Which is weird to me.
And there's people who are kind of like, I feel like maybe more like me who are on the fence. I'm like I get it. And at the same time, it's like rough. But at the same time, what can you do about it? And in this case, he caused the injury in a way.
Yeah, I mean, he caused the injury in a way. So for that reason, I still feel like it's a legit victory. And, you know, unless it's like a freak thing, I'll always give it.
But Josh, it's not as lucky as when Max Holloway randomly threw a kick and broke Justin Gaethje's nose. It's not as lucky as that.
Bro, Gaethje would have won that fight if he didn't have his nose broken, bro. Oh, you know, like I hate that shit. But look, dude, yeah, I mean, unless like a freak thing, like for example, remember whenever Brent Primus beat Michael Chandler back at Bellator, and it wasn't even like so basically people misremember this story a little bit. Brent Primus threw a high kick. People think he kicked him in the nerve. He did not kick Michael Chandler in the nerve. He threw a head kick, and Michael Chandler slipped and pulled the nerve, and then ended up walking around, ended up having the TKO loss because he couldn't stand. That's a freak injury that I'm like, Brent Primus, bro. I mean, I don't really give you the full credit for the win. You know what I mean? Tachi Retard, I mean, he's the one who swept him, you know, caused the injury, you know, ended up backpacking him, you know, like it was good, you know, like it wasn't what I wanted to see exactly. No, obviously I wanted like finality in this fight. And Alex Perez was a guy that, came in here as the underdog, was looking good, had moments. So it was unfortunate for him, and it was unfortunate for the fans, and it was unfortunate for Tachi Retard. But I still think it's a legitimate win. And now ranked number 5, I think he's the real deal, dude. I have no issue with him moving up, and I have no issue with the win. Who do you think is next for Tachi Retard as of now? If you had to guess.
Ooh, this one's a hard one for me. And it's kind of because some matchmaking has already kind of been figured out too, which kind of bothers me. But the only available person in those rankings, Josh, is Amir Albazi.
Only one guy.
We kind of have it rumored and kind of unconfirmed that KKF versus versus Steve Erceg might be going down under here soon because we had some leaked images from Dana as usual when he posts videos from the War Room. So I would have said Kai Kara France and or Steve Erceg. But now knowing that it potentially might not happen, and then Brandon Moreno obviously coming off a loss, taking off probably most of the year, not the whole year off. And I'm kind of on the fence about the Brandon Moreno fight, because I know it could happen. But at the same time, Amir Albazi's kind of been looking to go up, looking for some sort of conclusion. Mm-hmm. And he's been kind of out of action. And I think Tatsuo Taira would also be like a worthy opponent at this time as well. That, or if something no one even threw out there, Rival. Like, I've watched several shows now, and no one's throwing Brandon Rival's name out there. And I know that'd be number one contender, but
look, man,
great. I do think for Taira, I will say before you go,
yeah,
I do want 2 more fights. I know he's 6-0 in the UFC now, but the guy's 24, right?
Yeah,
it's okay. Like, we don't have to rush it.
Yeah, and look, dude, he is a guy that. I mean, look, man, they really don't gotta rush it. And look, man, Brandon Royval I'm happy you brought him up because to me, the most and it's a whole division that's full of disrespected guys, so it doesn't really mean that much. But he is the most disrespected guy, 125 pounds. A guy that walked into Mexico and beat Brandon Moreno in a title eliminator, and they still didn't give him the title shot. I mean, I understand he already lost to Pantoja before that, but you get my point. I think it's a perfect fight to make perfect, honestly. And if Royval beats the high-ranked guy, the hyped-up prospect, maybe then you can give a title shot. You know what I mean? In a situation like that. Because then he would have had to upset Moreno and got another upset win, so on and so forth. And if Tara wins, obviously you give him the shot of the gold.
I almost wonder if they got Royval versus Amir Albazi in the works.
I haven't heard anything about either of those guys, so I don't know for sure, but I think it would make sense. But I hope not, because I want to see those guys both fight different people. So... but yeah, man, look, I mean, with an injury in the main event, not a whole lot to really say there. And as far as the rest of the card, the original co-main event did not happen. The original co-main event, obviously, was supposed to be Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz, turned into Ikram Aliskerov versus Antonio Troloki. I apologize to the guy. Who, by the way, that poor fuck, I remember we looked it up last week. This guy got signed to the UFC like 2 years ago now, and he still has not made his debut, just through multiple injuries and a lot of stuff. Ended up having his fight canceled again because Ikram was moved to this weekend's event, which I'll preview in a bit. In the replacement co-main event, Miles Johns defeating Douglas Silva de Andrade. I had higher hopes for this fight to be more fun.
Yeah, I did too.
It was okay.
Especially because of those two guys.
Especially Douglas Silva de Andrade. It's just... we literally went through it last week. That motherfucker's never been in a boring fight. This might be the worst fight of his UFC career. It was he got outpointed.
It was an alright fight.
Yeah, he just got outpointed. 15 minutes.
Mahjong though, game is fucked me in the bantamweight division though. So
yeah, man. And a dude too who sticking around. Kansas's finest, Miles Johns, riding now a 4-fight unbeaten streak, man. So good for him. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, I mean, ultimately fight of the night: Gabriela Fernandez, Carly Judice. You and I both disagreed with this one. Probably should have been Brady Highstand, Garrett Arnfield.
That was my fight.
That was a banger of a fight, I thought.
They were my DTF fighters of the week, right?
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that one, man. I was very surprised to see that one. Brady got a performance bonus for submission win in the third, which is worth something, I guess. And we're both big Brady Highstand fans in the show. Very entertaining guy. So we'll see what happens to him next down at bantamweight. I was really excited to see this guy fight. Ended up having a pretty lopsided loss. Jose Johnson, flyweight, 6 feet tall, ends up getting dominated.
By the way, I thought Asu Amlabayev was going to do good. I did not think he would blow him out like this.
I agree.
Because I thought there was going to be some difficulty with the height and all that. And yeah. Sadly, no, that was not a factor at all.
Yeah, unfortunately. Josh Quinlan suffering a split decision loss to Adam Fugit on the main card opener.
Whoa, Josh, careful there.
This is why originally I was really in my head. I was like, I'm not even going to say this fucker's last
You're going to Charles Radke yourself.
It's
like Charles Radke did it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. In my head, I was like, dude, I'm just going to say Josh Quinlan lost by split decision.
Don't.
But in my head,
careful, Josh. You might go over there and hit you with a body shot.
I know, dude. Jesus. Nate Maness defeating Jimmy Flick.
This is what I expected for this fight, by the way.
Yeah, basically what I expected too. Weston Wolf. I gotta eat a lot of crow. I talk a lot of shit.
Shit, Josh. Eat that fucking shit.
I've talked shit, tremendous amount of shit about this guy, Weston Wilson. And for the record,
Go into your fucking cat's litter box right now, Josh.
Dude, stop, bro. I'm not gonna eat shit on the show if it's not recorded. No,
if it's not on our OnlyFans, then someone's not paying $30,000 for it at least.
I started my OnlyFans account this week. So it should be me eating shit for my terrible takes on the show. No, look, Weston Wilson, I've talked tremendous amount of shit about. The guy has gotten brutal. I mean, to be fair to me, he had two of the least competitive UFC fights I've seen in a long time. I'm just going to say it. We went through his record. I mean, he's beat one guy with a winning record, bro. In the end, defeating Road to UFC's finest. Which, by the way, after fucking this guy and Anshul Jubilee, I'm not taking anybody from Road to UFC seriously for a while. Ends up losing.
What do you mean? Rita Nakamura?
Yeah, but I mean,
you fucking bot.
He'll go out there and fucking lose to I don't even know. I can't even think of a Weston Wilson comparison. Maybe he'll just lose to Weston Wilson too.
Not bantamweight.
Nah, fuck it, bro.
I think Rita's bantamweight.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Hey, man, if he moves to 145, we'll have to watch out for the baddest man of all time. You know. Anyways, man, Mezco Costa picked up a split submission win. That was an okay fight.
I felt good. I expected a little bit more out of our boys Shaolin and Nurmendeki.
Yeah, man, it's tough whenever the guy's not throwing the fight. You know what I mean? It's tough to get the win, unfortunately.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Did you see that Derek Minner ended his silence? He came out. He did his first interview in since he was accused of throwing the fight, and he was like, "Yeah, I just went in there, and there's an injury and stuff happens," and it's like, man. It barely made any news, dude. I was really surprised, But yeah, that thing really.
It's all good though, Josh. We'll bring everybody on the Courtside Soundoff. Yeah. The exclusive interview with
James Krause.
James Krause will pull up to the grappling event he'll be attending at with cameras, microphones, and everything as far as recording devices, so we can guarantee you this interview.
We'll have all the boys just behind us with snapping photos and shit.
And we will get you that interview.
James, do you have anything to say?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Closing thoughts on this card. It was a one that happened. It existed. It happened at a point in time. I'm not going to remember this thing in T-3 days. And to be quite honest, I've already forgotten most of it.
Are you telling me this is not your favorite Apex card of all time?
I mean, I don't know if it's better than Cynthia Calvillo, just but I mean, it's in the conversation with Anthony Smith versus Devin Clark. You know what I mean?
That was a main event.
Yes, it was. That's somewhere in between the rankings. You know what I mean? For me personally,
Jesus.
I don't know if it's better than Aspen Ladd versus I can't even remember the girl's name.
She also headlined?
I think Aspen Ladd headlined 2 shows at the Apex.
Oh man.
Let me look it up.
Oh man.
Yeah, Norma Dumont and Jermaine Durandamy. Actually, Jermaine was not in the Apex, excuse me.
And she lost both of those?
She did.
Probably.
She did. She lost to Norma Dumont in that was one of the worst fucking main events I've ever seen in my life. Anyways, hopefully this weekend will be better because we're going from the UFC Apex to the fucking Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is Saudi Arabia's first event with the UFC. Turkey Al Al Sheikh
Kingdom.
So let me hold Angel. Sorry, I have to give it up for our His Excellency, friend of the show, his finest, the greatest man, Turkey Al Al Sheikh, for giving this event. Just it does kill me to see anytime anybody interviews because I understand why, because they will kill you, but just sucking them off for the entire time. I will give him credit though. He's making some good fights. And their main event for this card was supposed to be Robert Whittaker.
Just wait till he brings Habib out of retirement.
He's gonna make the call. Yo, Habib, we'll give you $1 billion to fight. No, but
you think if we would have had Turkey, we would have had Ngannou versus John?
Probably something like that. Because I guess I don't know how much. I mean, they did make the call on saying yo, you got to get that shit ass card out of Saudi Arabia. The one that with Rosenstrike Gaziev, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made the call on that one. But look, man, this card's an excellent one. Originally supposed to be Robert Whittaker, Khamzat Chimaev. Instead, it's Robert Whittaker taking on the man who is 15-1 with only one loss, being to Khamzat Chimaev. Ikram Aliskerov. We really don't have to get too much into the guy's fucking credentials because we just did it last week. But in case you guys don't know, multiple time Sambo champion. like I just said, 15-1, 2-0 in the UFC with both wins coming by knockout inside of a round. Nobody's been competitive with the guy. The only guy who has been competitive with him was the aforementioned Khamzat Chimaev. The two met at Brave CF 23 back in April 2019 and suffered a stoppage loss. Since then, though, Ikram has not lost.
Wait, did you see that? Was that at a catch weight?
It was a 175-pound catch weight, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So that's for something. But this one will be happening in middleweight. And look, man, Robert Whittaker, we know the story here. Former champion, one of the best in the world, 33 years young, still on the hunt for gold. Coming off a winner of Paulo Costa in February, 25-7 is the record. It's a stellar one. Can Ikram Aliskerov pull off the upset on a week's notice? He's in shape, though. So,
but not ready for 5 rounds.
Not ready for 5 rounds. And stepping into the lion's den against one of the greatest of all time at middleweight, Robert the Reaver Whittaker. Can he get it done, Angel?
Josh, I am fucking here for the hype train. 2025 champion, Ikram Aliskerov. I'm here for it.
You're going to do it? You're going to pick him?
I'm picking Ikram Aliskerov.
Dude, let's go. I was hoping you were going to, dude. I was really hoping you were going to.
Because I know I have the Robert Whittaker diehard to my left here.
I'm not a diehard Robert. I mean, I'm a big fan of the guy, but I don't know about a diehard, you know?
Holy shit, those odds are actually insane.
Yeah. Bettors giving massive respect to Ikram Aliskerov.
By the way, actual educated MMA people.
I know. Rare to see, right? So Robert Whittaker, according to MGM, a -150. Ikram Aliskerov coming back as a +125. Very close betting odds. It's a tough fight for me to pick personally. Robert Whittaker. Both these guys have a lot of firepower. I think I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker purely because of the fact
he was ready for 5 rounds.
He's ready for 5 rounds. He was ready to go to Saudi Arabia. And Ikram, in the fights I've seen, and I like Ikram a lot, he does show a lot of defensive issues. And he's steamrolled through a couple of guys who have not really been. I mean, we know the wins. Phil Hawes, who has just been. I mean, I don't want to be mean here, but getting knocked out by everybody recently. And then Warley Alves, who really should not have. I mean, that was a brutal fucking fight for him. Up at middleweight, too. So, yeah, man.
Old Warley Alves.
Yeah, old Warley Alves. I'm going to take Robert Whittaker for the win and to move on, man. I mean, at 185, there's a lot going on, man. I mean, Sean's sitting out. We got Izzy DDP finally confirmed, but we've already talked about that a dozen times now because it's been confirmed for the last 2 months or so, but officially announced by the UFC, I should say. So yeah, man, who knows what's gonna happen with the winner of this one? But while I'm picking Robert, Ikram could absolutely go ahead and pull off the win here. Just go and add that as well. Co-main event, two very close
if Ikram
friends.
does win, he is landslide DTF fighter of the week because the man's was in Vegas, gonna be in a co-main,
Already cutting weight. Yeah.
Flying now to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut weight there, weigh in, fight 5 rounds against Robert Whittaker. I mean, he will clear as all-time DTF fighter of the week.
Yeah.
Fighter of the year, probably at that point.
If he wins, maybe. I mean, that's an all-time fucking call your shot moment. And he's a guy that's been like, yo, I am that fucking good. Give me Paulo.
I'm just trying to hype up the moment, man. We gotta sell these we gotta sell these fucking fights, Josh, because the UFC's not fucking doing it.
Exactly. Dana getting on there.
I'm the real fucking promoter here.
Yeah, Dana announcing it in a fucking
Instagram
Twitter. Yeah, a Twitter clip at noon on a Friday, bro. Come on.
Dude, what do you mean? That shit was at midnight our time.
Yeah, dude. I can't. I mean, he does so many of them.
The people in Saudi Arabia didn't know until the next day.
Yeah, dude. Look, man. I think Ikram could pull it off, man. Like I said, I'm picking Robert.
By the way, dude, 2 guys on this card with OV at the end of their name. Ov.
You're right. Yeah, man. Look, man. Co-main event. These guys have been very upfront about the fact that they did not want to fight. They are friends.
Did you see they posted a picture together?
Teammates. Yeah, because they're very good friends. They said they would never fight each other. And originally, these guys were actually set up to fight different people. It was really supposed to be, I believe, Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. And Pavlovich didn't have a fight yet. Instead, they said, fuck that. We're going to make you guys fight each other. And they broke up the matchups.
I'm sure they probably were trying to do Pavlovich Sorogan, right? I think that was the actual rumored fight, if I remember right. Could be wrong.
I think so.
Could be wrong.
I think so. But Yeah, man. Instead, we're gonna have. I mean, I don't even feel good about watching this fight because they've both been very like, yo, please don't make us fight each other. But look, man. Who do you got in this one? Two strikers. Pavlovich obviously hasn't fought since his knockout loss to Tom Aspinall in November. That ended up a 5 or 6 fight winning streak for him. Volkov, though, in his mid-30s, still staying moving. 35 years young. Looking for his 4th win in a row. Volkov, man, he's not far away from a title shot.
How
man.
old is Pavlovich? He's young, right?
He's early 30s, I want to say.
32. Man, a baby in heavyweight.
I know, man. Did you know he's got the biggest ape index of all the entire UFC roster?
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That is. Hey, man, that's why he's knocking out guys, man. It's hard to knock out a guy like that. Look, you see the size of his neck until he met Tom Aspinall, you know?
Josh,
yeah.
I just got to get into it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Go.
Josh,
I know what you're doing.
I am the biggest glazer. I am the biggest Volkov truther. Probably on planet Earth. I might be, dude. If Volkov has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If Volkov has 10 fans, I'm one of them. If Volkov has 1 fan, I'm them. If Volkov has no fans,
friends.
That means I died. Josh, I still believe it's 2024. You guys can go back and look at the inception of this beginning of this show. Since 2019, I have spoken on this show how I believe Alexander Volkov could still be UFC champion. Now, midway through 2024, going into 2025, I am still on the boat that I believe Alexander Volkov could get to a title shot once again and be crowned UFC heavyweight champion. I genuinely believe it. Severely, I think he will go down as one of the most underappreciated heavyweights of our time.
I agree with you. And does that mean that you're picking Volkov to beat his friend?
He's going to beat the fuck out of his friend in Saudi Arabia.
You know what? I've been. This is another fight I've been going back and
forth. It's not a secure pick by any means.
No, it's another fight I've been going back and forth on. And since I brought up the betting odds, I'll bring up the ones for this one. Minus 225 for Pavlovich, plus 185 for Alexander Volkov.
That's not crazy, actually. Either.
No, not really. Look, man, I have to do it too. I have to go for the former Bellator heavyweight champion, the future UFC title challenger, the future UFC heavyweight champion
of the fucking world.
6'7" out of Oblast, Russia, motherfucker. Okay, Alexander Volkov. I think both these guys are actually from the same place. So it doesn't really matter. But
really, that's crazy. They're both fighting for their home.
Pavlovich, Rostov. God. Okay, so he's from Rostov Oblast, Russia. And then we got our boy Volkov, who is from Moscow. Excuse me. I apologize. I messed it up a little bit, but you got what I was going for there. Look, man, I think Volkov's gonna be able to pick him apart at distance. Pavlovich has the punching power, but I think the fact that these guys are friends, whenever it's friends to fight, you get really weird fights sometimes. Sometimes they go out and swing and bang. These guys have made very clear they do not want to do that. And I think Volkov with a longer reach. Although actually Pavlovich has a really fucking long reach as well, I believe.
It's up there.
84 inches. Volkov is 80. So he has a longer reach, but he's taller, so it's still going to make it easier. You know, it kind of evens out. I think Volkov's going to get the win, man. The longer guy, the rangier guy, be able to outpoint him. And we'll see what happens. So I could easily see Pavlovich getting a win. It's just when you're a friends fight, it's so fucking hard to kind of, figure out what's going to happen. But look, man, normally I ask you what he would talk about. I think we should need to go one down, dude. Kelvin Gastelum, who, by the way, Loki has the best merch in MMA. Just going to go ahead and say it. I saw somebody posted it on Twitter the other day, and he had like a bunch of really cool designs. I'm like, yo, like,
right. I need to go look at that.
Since when is Kelvin Gastelum with it like that? You know what I mean? But a guy that former title challenger, since he fought Israel Adesanya in 2019, he gave
all I see is red, and not the kind of red you want to see.
Exactly. One of the greatest fights of all time. Lost to Darren Till. What'd he do? He lost to Jack Hermanson. He beat Ian Heinisch. He lost to Whittaker. He lost to Cannonier. Beat Chris Curtis. Close fight. Got dominated by Sean Brady. It just feels like he's down. He'll get a breather, get his head above water.
But when you put it in perspective to the guys he lost to, though, you can't.
That's true, but you also got to think about how he lost those fights.
Yeah.
Not many of those fights were competitive. The tailbone ones were competitive. Hermanson finished him inside 2 minutes.
That was just
Whittaker
sad.
Dominated him.
He got heel hooked, right?
Instantly, yeah.
Yeah.
Whittaker dominated him. Cannonier dominated him. None of these fights have really been particularly close. That's kind of the main issue. But he's taking on a guy who hasn't fought in a minute. Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod, 37 years old, hasn't fought since a knockout loss to Ian Machado Gary last year, where he got just ran through.
Out.
Prior to that, he lost to Neil Magny in a fight that was supposed to be competitive. Instead, he got ran through in that one. But before that, you'd have a nice 4-5
You said
win
Ian
streak.
Machado Gary? I thought it said Ian Cut Gary. Had to give one to the fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just got it.
That's funny. I like Ian Machado Gary. I don't even know why I said that.
I actually like Ian Gary. You know, he's a fucking cornball, but I mean, look, dude, for MMA, that's like half the requirement for these guys. I mean, like it's the truth. It's like, dude, it's one of those things too. It's like I see like Colby fans hate him, and it's like, bro, like they are two sides. There's different sides of the fucking coin, bro. They're both corny ass fucking dudes trying to hype fights up. They're just doing different ways for it. You know what I mean? But back to this one. Yeah, D-Rod's another guy who struggled a lot recently, now in his late 30s. I fucking love this fight, though, man. At the very least, it should be competitive, and it should be fun. So, hey, give me your thoughts on that one, man.
I'm excited. Welterweight, something we didn't mention, but obviously for those who are educated and know, both these guys are going to be competing at welterweight.
Yes, sir.
They gave him a guy who's down to bang, though.
They did.
So, down to throw down. Also, second outing at welterweight now, with the change. I'm curious to see if there's some sort of adaptation in the body, if it's actually going to work. Because I don't know. Did you ever listen to that interview with Sean Brady? I can't remember what podcast it was on, but he talked about Kelvin. He was like, dude, he felt a lot weaker than what I expected. He said, once I was able to grab him, he's like, oh, yeah, I knew I could take him down at well. And I didn't feel a lot of resistance or anything. And he says that he believes that Kelvin's probably stronger at 85. Granted, though, weight adjustments, everything. First time welterweight, maybe things are different this time. Kelvin can get adjusted well. Maybe we could see some stuff. I don't know. Are we doing predictions for this?
Not for this fight, but I mean, if you want to throw out like what you think about it.
I mean, unofficial, I think Kelvin can win.
Yeah, I agree.
But D-Rod's game, so
yeah. I mean, both these guys have been struggling. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And also, like, I was actually somebody who like
good matchmaking, by the way. I gotta give him credit on this.
Yeah, I like Kelvin a lot, but he also kind of did shit in reverse. You know what I mean? I feel like he started off at welterweight. Couldn't make it, and then around, I mean, how old is Kelvin now? Kelvin has to be early 30s, right?
Yeah,
32. Yeah, his late 20s. That's when he was like, you know what? I'm gonna move up to middleweight, and that's when he found all that success. Beat multiple legends, got the title shot, and then he started to lose a little bit. But
he
it's
got the interim too, right?
Yeah. And then he went down, and then it's like, bro, like now you're in your early 30s.
What did he be for the interim? Was it Jacare?
Oh no, I thought you said fought for the interim. No, he fought for the interim against Izzy. He did not win the interim.
Oh, okay. Because I remember because he after Izzy's fight, Izzy was holding the interim.
He was holding. So
Kelvin was holding the interim.
So yeah, that was when he was supposed to fight. That was UFC 234. He was supposed to fight Robert Whittaker. Whittaker pulled out the day of because he had like stomach issues that I think almost killed him or some shit. It was like a really bad weight cut or something. I don't even remember what happened exactly. But that's whenever Kelvin, he was copying Triple C's fucking gimmick. He had a fake belt. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm the real champ. He didn't show up, But yeah, look, dude, I don't understand why Kelvin's back at 170. I understand it works for like height wise, but like, dude, he was way stronger. He was in better shape. I mean, it's kind of just he just looks weak at 170 now. You know what I mean? But maybe that's just me. We'll see what happens here though. Also, Muhammad Naimov. I apologize.
From Tajikistan.
A good prospect.
Well,
at featherweight.
You saw they like filled the little arena so they could watch his first fight in the UFC or his second fight.
Yeah, dude. Well, a lot of those smaller countries, like they get behind their boys, bro.
Because we only got one.
Exactly.
One or two, maybe three at max.
It's like that same phenomenon. Like, like the NBA has one team in Canada and apparently they might put one in Mexico City or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey man, that's one team for the whole country to follow. They're gonna be in on that shit. You know what I mean? Well, I guess with like NBA they had Vancouver too, but now they just have Toronto. But you get my point.
Dude, they get a team in Mexico. Damn, those two guys are gonna hate the flights down there and flights back.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the rumors of Mexico City, and the NFL was. The NFL wants to go to either the UK or Mexico or some shit.
The UK would make no sense,
but also it does make sense. It's just there's a really big fan base, I guess.
There is, but can you imagine the logistics? Granted, there's so much time between games, but still.
Here's the thing: is they can make it work though because they're like having NFL games now. It's like NFL season. It's every Sunday. It used to be every Sunday, right? And then Thursday and Monday.
Granted, though, they're playing within the states, though.
Yeah, true. That's true. But also, you got to think about it like this. For example, they could just have 2 facilities or some shit. They could have a facility in the U.S. They could have a facility in the stadium overseas. And they could just play like 4 games back to back to back in the UK. And then they could travel and then play 4,
That'd be so odd, though. I mean, they could do that. That'd just be really weird.
I think they'll find. I think they're going to do it. I just think.
I don't know if anything. Why don't they have a team in Canada? I almost feel like that'd make more sense.
I don't know. But they've never really shown an interest in going to Canada. But they do go to Mexico City. I think the Chiefs had a game in Mexico City like
They did
2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. So I think that one even makes more sense too. But I guess I don't know how big American football is in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like
They got their own league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got their own little
I
league.
I didn't know that. Good for them.
I forgot what it's called because I looked it up because I was watching because they had really funny team names.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see though. Just kind of redirect back to the card. Johnny Walker, Volkan Oezdemir, banger at light heavyweight, man.
By the way, the second on the pod, on the fight card is a Robert Whittaker. And now we got Johnny Walker.
Exactly.
And then we got another off Josh because we got Shara Bullet, Eric K, Shara Putin, Magomedov.
Yeah, Shara Bullet taking on this poor fuck. Jolton Lutterbach coming in here. Originally supposed to be our boy from Ukraine, right?
What's his name?
Who ended up Ilhor Peteria. And then ended up getting fucked up by Michelle Pajea whenever he accepted a fight on short notice. He's taking on
former PFL competitor, former karate combat competitor, I think.
It looks like this is a
kickboxing competitor.
Look, man, he's getting busy. All right, 38-10, 31 years. This motherfucker has 48 fights, and he just turned 31. Yeah, you're right. He got a knockout win in karate combat. He had 2 wins in karate combat. He's fought everywhere, man. He really has. So hopefully,
split against Clay Collard, missed weight on that one.
Man, though, going from fighting Clay Collard to middleweight to fight Shara Bullet is
that's
a tough ass.
This guy is getting sacrificed.
He really is. But hopefully it'll be fun. You know what I mean? Nasrat Hakparas coming back here against Jared Gordon. I had no idea. It feels like Nasrat Hakparas is a guy, dude. I
had so much hope for him. I thought he's so young though, so it's whatever.
He's only 28.
But dude, I'm not gonna lie, that like short period of like Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, even the John Medeski, McDessie fight was a rough time.
Yeah, because that John McDessie fight was way closer than it should have been too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And John McDessie, he's not even in the UFC anymore. He's old as fuck, 39. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was fighting an old John McDessie too.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I like the guy too. Riding a 3-5 winning streak though, and that's
they're trying to build him back up, which I respect. Because look at the matchups they've given him.
Yeah, I mean they gave him obviously John McDessie, but they getting Landon Quinones, yeah,
Jerry Gordon,
and then Jeremy Malarkey. They're building him up.
Because before that, when he ever stepped up to the higher level, you see that he struggled. Because what were the losses?
Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Marcin Held. And then
was there a Drew Dober loss in there? Maybe
I think you're right. I believe there is a Drew Dober loss. Yes, there is.
So yeah, man, how many fights was he doing when he came into the UFC? Can you look?
He's 8-1.
Wow, I mean, fair few, a decent amount of fights.
Yeah,
kind of bringing it back together.
Debuted on that Cowboy Till card.
By the way, Mark DeCasey no longer in the UFC. Did I see that?
Correct. Mark DeCasey's now a member of the PFL. Going to be fighting in their $1 million tournament.
Yes.
So good for him, bro. Good for him. He's a guy that also never really was as good as I wanted him to be, but I mean, he had a good run overall. I mean, he was in the UFC for almost 10 years, I want to say. I mean, that's worth something. You know what I mean? I don't think he ever got ranked, or maybe he was like really lower ranked at one point. Want to look it up because I'm kind of curious.
Dang, he had a good run right there, though. 12-0 at one point in his career.
12-0 at one point, and he had 3 wins in the UFC. Suffered a couple losses, came back, beat Joe Duffy, beat Lando Venata, suffered a couple more losses.
Good win against Borshev.
Yeah, man. It's just kind of a back and forth guy. So we'll see how he does in the PFL. At the very least, he's a fun guy, though. And so that's what PFL really needs: fun guys who are like appointment viewing. That being said, Hakparas versus Jared Gordon should be fun. Excited to see the return of Renat Fakhtaratinov. 32 years old.
Another OV.
Moscow. Right, exactly. Another OV on fight night. 21-1-1. We know the story here. Taking on Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby, who's a guy
career renaissance, by the way.
Yeah, 39 years old. And just like, he just stays moving, bro. I mean, 4 wins in a row, including that upset win over Gabriel Bonfim last November.
In Brazil.
Of all places, right? Insanely good win. So shout out him, man. We'll see how that one goes. But, yeah, as far as the rest of and then we got to have a couple other fights. We have the road to the UFC, which funny, I just mentioned that. I'm not going to take anybody seriously from that. We have that going down here, the Season 2 bantamweight finale, and we got a couple other fights. Give me your excitement level for UFC Saudi Arabia, man. It's a banger.
It's like an 8. It's up there.
Yeah, I agree, man. Very excited for it. However, Well, I am very excited for it. We do have to go ahead and move on to some news because, boy, we got a, like I said at the top of the show, man, basically all hell broke loose the second that we stopped filming last week. So by all hell breaking loose, I mean UFC 303 has officially been shaken up, man. We heard the rumors. We knew it was going to happen. I mean, but by the time it was announced, we knew it was going to happen. But for the last 2 weeks or so, we just had so much back and forth. In the end, the return of the notorious Conor McGregor will have to wait. Not happening June 29th in Las Vegas. Instead, International Fight Week. And this is something we said on the show. And for a normal pay-per-view, they might have just canceled it. But this is International Fight Week. There's so many logistics that go into it. They're having the UFC fan experience. They already have all these guys. They're listed for a lineup. People have already paid their tickets to see them. So there's so much stuff that goes into it. Instead, it's going to be main evented by Alex Poatan Pereira, just a couple months removed from his knockout win over Jamal Hill, taking on the man who he beat to win the belt, Yuri Prochazka. Also fought at UFC 300. Also got a knockout win over Alexander Rakic. The main event, it's the new main event for the light heavyweight gold. Happy to see it. Also, though, a couple more fights added, man. Brian Ortega, new co-main event. The former featherweight title challenger taking on Diego Lopez, who is one of the most exciting guys at 145 pounds. Not only 145 pounds, I think in the entire UFC, one of the brightest prospects, dude. You're talking about a guy who's 3-0, 3 knockout wins. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I guess he's technically 3-1. He stepped up against Most Far on a week notice. You get my point here. Since that fight, undefeated. Very excited to see it. And also, Jamal Hill falling out of the Carlos Solberg fight. It's supposed to be Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree.
Dude, that matchup has completely changed.
I know. Dude.
It's crazy how it went from Jamal Hill literally setting the fight after he lost to Alex Poatan Pereira, getting Roundtree to
getting Goldberg. And now it's Carlos Solberg versus Anthony Smith. And apparently Anthony Smith was actually, if they couldn't get Yuri, he was like, yo, I'm about it. I'm down to face Alex Pereira. So apparently that was something
that was never going to happen, though.
That was never going to happen. That was briefly. I think they would have gone Olberg over Pereira, honestly.
Because there's history there. They could have actually wrote a storyline there.
Exactly. But look, man, yeah, man, give me your thoughts. UFC 303. It's been the mix-up, man. Give me your thoughts on the new card. Yeah.
I'm excited to preview it. Honestly, as you were talking to it, I almost felt like we were going straight into a preview. That's how excited I was.
Yeah.
We're not, though, but we're only 1 week away from that, though.
Exactly.
It doesn't even seem like, I'll get to see you next week, Josh.
Exactly. You're right. We'll get to hang out for that one, man. Hype for it.
Also, another thing.
It's not Connor Chandler, but.
Yeah, but.
Which is kind of the
still great. It's still great.
In terms of like the actual fight card, it is better. I mean, Brian Ortega, Diego Lopez is the best fight on that entire fucking card.
On top of that, dude, like we also get like the seedings of Olberg and Pereira down the line if Olberg is the win.
That's true.
Because Olberg is, Team City Kickboxing. Izzy and him are good boys. They don't have history together, but it's like they're in the same weight class. He is not ranked. Is he going to avenge his friend? Like you can build a storyline there. It's existing.
Yeah, and let's talk about this main card now because we're not going to preview these fights. We're only a week away, but this is the main card now. With Conor McGregor's withdrawal, with Jamal Hill's injury, with Khalil Roundtree failing a drug test, this is where we're at, boys.
It's not a bad place. Like
Pereira, Prochazka 2, Brian Ortega, Diego Lopez, Anthony Smith, Carlos Solberg, Mayra Bueno Silva, Macy Station. Why? Ian Machado, Gary, Michael Page, Joe Pyfer. This is prelims now. Joe Pyfer, Marc-Andre Barriault, Cub Swanson, Andre Feely, Charles Jourdain, John Silva, Peyton Talbot. One of those entertaining guys in UFC down to bantamweight returning.
The stripper.
The stripper Peyton Talbot. No.
Does he even have a moniker?
I don't know. So if
by the way, have you watched his YouTube channel stuff?
I have. He has fun videos. He's a fun dude. Fun kid. I say kid. He's 25 years old and older than us, but he's a fun kid.
Not by a lot.
No, not by a lot, but he's a fun kid. Let me see. Does he have a nickname? He does not have a nickname.
There we go. We got one for him.
Peyton the Stripper Talbot.
The exotic dancer.
I like that. I like that. Michelle Watterson, Julian Robertson, Andre Orlovsky, Martin Boudet, and then a couple other fights.
Or they could just name him Exotic. I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Peyton Exotic Talbot.
I agree. Look, man, psyched for it. As far as the Conor part of it, because we do got to talk about it. We still do not know the injury. Chael Sonnen indicated that he alleged that Conor's actually in rehab right now. and that's why the fight's not happening.
I heard through a different podcast that he might have injured the family jewels.
Really?
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I have not heard that one. Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's a weird situation. I figured that whenever they had Optimus, because we knew he was hurt to begin with.
Granted, though, from what we're hearing, though, the injury is not so bad that he'll be out for months, but it's bad enough where he has to take time, at least some level of time off, like a few months.
My theory is it's either like a really bad cut, or it's maybe he just a grade 2 like ACL sprain or
It's
some
like,
shit.
oh my, they're like, and the news
You know
comes
what I mean?
out, Conor McGregor has let the world know that he has a ruptured testicle.
Well, I mean, I guess he's not going to be having any more little Max. You know what I'm saying, man? It's just fuck, dude. I mean,
Do you think that's going to stop him?
I guess he'll maybe. I mean, if you rupture your testicle, isn't that how that works? I feel like that would affect it. I guess I don't know enough. You know what I mean? Does Mirko Krokop have kids? Because Overeem, remember that one time Overeem? Remember you hear about this fight? Been talking about this?
I don't think we have. No.
In Pride back in the day, Alistair Overeem fought Mirko Krokop, and it was a really hyped up fight. I don't think it was actually in Pride. It might have even been after Pride. But anyways, really hyped up fight, and Alistair got him in the clinch, gave him a knee to the family jewels, and then there was 10 minutes where like they were like, he's still down. Is he okay? And then they go to the commentary booth, and Boss Rutten is on the mic, and he's like, we have just been informed that it's not coming back out. His testicle got kneed into his body and was not coming back out, so they had to call off the fight. This is no bullshit. This happened. This actually happened. This is a real thing. I feel like I'm Chael Sonnen right now. They fed the bus to carrot. It happened. I was there. You know, it was a real fight. So if Mirko Krokop has kids, then maybe it's hope for Conor McGregor.
By the way, I saw Boss Rutten, or I thought of Boss Rutten recently because I saw some clips from Here Comes the Boom.
The greatest MMA movie of all time. Here Comes the Boom.
It might be number 1, bro.
It's not better than Kingdom, but that's a television show. So what are you gonna do? You know,
Never Back Down.
Never Back Down is with Evan Peters with fucking Academy Award winning.
What's the other one? With the two brothers.
Warrior, dude. Warrior was the worst fucking movie I've ever.
And people love it.
Yeah, you know why they love it? Because they don't know shit about MMA, dude. That's why they love it, dude. It's like every single dumbest fucking movie. Even as like a kid who was like, I think that movie came out when we were like, we had to have been like,
we were young,
we were young, like 10, 11, 12. Even as a kid watching, like, dude, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, very funny though, very funny. Yeah, man. Anyways, I think we should probably go ahead and move on because we do have more news. Not only is Conor McGregor out of UFC 303, not only was that whole card reshaped, we have a whole new fight card going down July 20th, Florida, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Jake Paul was set to fight a 58-year-old Mike Tyson on July 20th.
You know, I thought you were just going to say 58-year-old.
Just don't even say the name. You know what I mean? No, but I'll be fair. 58-year-old Mike Tyson's still better than most 58-year-olds. But look, man. Yeah. Instead, Jake Paul facing a man. This is a true story. This is his youngest opponent to date. 32-year-old Mike Platinum Perry, 5-0 in the BKFC ring, has not lost since he left the UFC in 2020. Also picked up a win over Michael Seals in a hybrid boxing match, the Triad Combat. You remember Triad Combat? You remember that Triller pay-per-view? You know, they had Metallica play an hour-long concert for some fucking reason. That was a terrible night. Anyways, give me your thoughts on this fight. Everybody seems to agree it's actually not bad. Like, I've seen people who even hate Jake Paul. Yeah, even people who hate Jake Paul, it's hard not to give him credit for this.
Do we know how many rounds? How long?
8 rounds, cruiserweight fight.
Damn, they couldn't do 10, these cucks?
I know, right? What a fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, no, I agree, actually. Look, man, I'm happy to see it. Mike Perry he's had one professional boxing match. He lost to a club fighter back in 2015 whenever he was very young and, you know, before he got in the UFC and all that stuff.
It's kind of crazy. He kind of gets to live out his dream now, right?
Kind of, yeah. kind of gets to take on a big boxing match, and it's a fight that he's been calling for a long time.
But not even just that, but like get the whole boxing experience, like the walkout, everything. Like he got glimpses of that with everything else, even with bare knuckle and in the UFC.
Yeah.
But it's like now he gets to do the actual ring walk on a big stage. You know, there's going to be MMA fans there, be UFC fans, there's going to be bare knuckle fans, be influencer fans, aka Jake's fans.
Jake's fans, yeah.
So it's going to be a big deal. I think they're going to have a fucking like sick crowd.
Yeah. Well, and in his backyard of Florida, man. So
exactly too.
He is Florida man. So, hype. Look, dude, it's yeah, man, I'm psyched for it, man. And especially a guy too. Like, I really feel like Mike Perry doesn't really get like the Mike Perry story is. I feel like it's not entirely told in the correct way. Like I said, he left the UFC. He was cut from the UFC. He lost like 4 of his last 5. Missed weight a couple of different times. His girlfriend was coaching him. I mean,
and that's not including like prior to that, like a lot of the personal issues he was going through with the Platinum Princess. And even after that, though.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the accusations and look, man, that some of that stuff was very, very bad. But look, I'll give a man credit for being
like what a bounce back, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, a guy like Mike Perry, he was headed down one or two routes. Really, it's either he was gonna end up fucking living and being a piece of shit until he inevitably dies after fucking with the wrong person one day, you know what I mean? Because he was getting into street fights all the fucking time, even before he was in the UFC. And we got the accusations of abuse and all that shit. And it's just like he was on a very bad path to end up dead or in prison. Instead, he's here getting a multi-million-dollar boxing match because he got with Coach Latore. They have a couple kids now. They're very happy. He seems to have toned down a lot of his antics. And also became the face of a whole fucking fighting league in BKFC that's really turned out to be successful. And all that came after he was cut. So, look, man. Mike Perry, fucking good for you, bro. Good for you, man. I will say, I don't give him nearly as much of a chance to win as most people do. I think the short notice of it, I think the size differential. I mean, dude.
The boxing rule set.
I think is Mike Perry and MMA, BKFC, like, fuck off, dude. Like,
he's the greatest chance on planet Earth.
Yeah, he would kill him. But in boxing, 8 rounds when you're not a boxer and so on and so forth, he has that dog in him.
Can I be honest? I think it's going to go one or two ways. I think it's either going to be a Jake win, pretty normal Jake routine win, that, or it's to be a fucking war because of the guy who's in there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be the latter because I don't think he'll win, but I think there's only one thing Mike Perry will do, and that's fucking march forward and wing bombs, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it could be a war. I think if Mike tucks that chin, brings it to him, gains some respect in there himself, and Jake's willing to be the dance partner in there too, dude.
And willing to trade.
Yeah. We could have actually a pretty good matchup. But there's also the other side of the coin where it's like you named off all those
exact size difference.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not a boxer, the fact that
the timing of it.
The timing. And all those factors really.
Wait, weight class again?
Cruiserweight.
So what would that be?
200.
Oh shit.
200 pounds. So, and Jake was in the round 220, 230 already for the Mike fight. So it's like big size advantage in terms of weight too. Mike Perry, man, he's fighting 170 in the UFC. So it's
Mike's definitely gonna have the edge on cardio, right? There's no way he did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, Jake generally gasses. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. From what we've seen,
but he's also like bassed around in weights and all that. And
yeah, it's kind of hard to get a read on the guy sometimes. So we'll see. But look, dude, I'm psyched for this one. Very excited for it, man. Look, I would love to see Mike Perry fucking knock that kid's block off, man. I'm putting all the.
Are you ready for all these comments, Josh? You don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen Mike Perry fight, bro.
You don't know what Mike Tyson was like back in 1983, bro. You weren't there. It's like, yeah, dude, I was fucking.
Do you see what he did to Luke Rockhold? You knocked his teeth out.
It's like, yeah, dude, different rule set, bro. You know what I mean? Different rule set, different sport, man. You know what I mean? So it is. And dude, fucking Luke Rockhold towered over him. You know what I mean? Like he's been fighting a lot of these guys, and part of the reason why he's so impressed is he's fighting guys who are bigger than him, who they like. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times he's been the shorter guy. We also got to give him credit for that because even like a Mickey Gall, Tim Maines, like I said, Luke Rockhold. I'm trying to think who else off the top of my head. Even the Korean guy, this debut guy, I'm pretty sure he was taller than him.
Hung Yu Lim, Paul Felder, I think was bigger than him too.
Yeah, like a lot of the guys have been taller.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been the shorter guy, so he's.
I think Luke too, right? Luke was tall. Didn't tower him, but he was taller.
Yeah. But look, man, I'm excited for it. The Zone pay-per-view, July 20th, man. I'm hyped. And that's, like I said, hopefully. All I want to see is Mike go out there and put on a fun fight.
Someone might bleed. Someone might die.
Look, dude, I'm praying I remember his first interview on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hours, like the Monday after he beat Hung Yu Lim after his debut. And he was like, why's your name Platinum? He's like, yeah, my name's Platinum so I can build a satellite to God with the it's just like the material. I can speak to God, and that's why my name is Platinum. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm praying to the Platinum God out there that your boy can get it done on July 20th. So
you thought you had a friend, boy? A lot of people don't even know about that. A lot of people don't know about it. They know G like that.
I know.
By the way, do you remember when weigh-ins used to be like that all the time? Because that wasn't even a pay-per-view, was it?
That was a pay-per-view. There's UFC 202.
Oh, really? Dang.
McGregor, almost Chandler, Jesus. Diaz 2.
It was? Fuck, I forgot about that. Fuck me.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't finish this. Do you think Conor McGregor fights again?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll actually fight in August or September?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Sometime this year.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's after, if we don't get if we don't get a fight from now
which never
to December, yeah, which, it's not gonna happen. But from now to December, and it didn't happen this year, it's not gonna happen ever.
I agree with you. That's where I'm at too. Before we're going to move on, a couple things to go ahead and wrap up with, man. Look, man, the man, you know a motherfucker's badass when you know him by one name and it's not even his actual name. Baki, 8-0 out of France, 22 years old.
It breaks my heart. A lot of people don't even probably know who Baki is.
I'm afraid. Yeah, but what's his name officially? It's Bassignor.
Not even just that, but what I'm saying, like, actually where the name Baki comes from, which breaks my heart.
You know what, Angel? Why don't you tell the fine folks of the Courtside Soundoff podcast?
Baki is an anime character.
Yeah.
Who's like the coolest motherfucker. From
Attack on Titan, right?
Not from... Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
I'm fucking with you. Anyways, yeah. Badass motherfucker. 8-0. 22 years old. Welterweight. Came off that win over Cedric Doumbé. Sure, technically he didn't cause it, and it was a really weird fight, and Mark Goddard kind of fucked up. But still, 8-0 with a winner of Doumbé. He became a free agent after that fight. And I came on this very show, and I said that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. The fact they did not lock up this kid who was an incredible prospect, who they knew had a very good chance of beating Doumbé. The rumor was he was heading to the UFC. Instead, he has re-signed with PFL. The rumor is a 5-fight deal, exclusive contract. He will not be in the multi-million-dollar tournament. Presumably just one-offs. Give me your thoughts on Baki, man. Very excited to see him return.
He's a fun guy. Like you couldn't let him go, and if you did, the UFC had to nab him up. Which the UFC did attempt to nab him up, right?
They did.
By the way, UFC like dropping the ball, not signing a lot. Couldn't get Saladin Pardenez from KSW.
KSW, who did you hear this part of it? He said the UFC offered him 20 times lower than what KSW
There was some
did.
Russian fighter in AK or KS or like ACA or whatever one of the
I can't think of
with an undefeated record who they offered a Dana White Contender Series fight. But the only reason they're doing that is because that way they don't have to pay him more when he initially gets there.
Correct.
And they could sign a Contender Series contract, so they will lock him up to playing him a significantly lesser amount.
Paul Hughes let him go. Didn't really care.
And they could have got him too. They've had a great relationship with Cage Warriors over the years. Never had trouble signing their guys.
Yep.
The French guy who's fighting in the PFL like Euro Series who fought in ACA had a crazy last minute 5th round finish. I can't think of his name. Guy's a total badass. We might be able to pull him up here in a minute.
Shit, even Doumbé. Even Doumbé, they didn't give a fuck. I mean, they let him walk. They signed him, and they I guess there was like issues with the commission. They're just like, all right, get the boot, you know?
Yeah, no, they've definitely. There's a few free agents I feel like they missed out on that I think were genuinely good guys that would have been fun to go to, keep around. I really feel like what they should be doing is trying to hunt for some of these Bellator bantamweight guys because it's like they can only fight in the Bellator series, and those guys probably want a genuine home. They probably want to fight a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, like you're telling me you guys wouldn't want Patchy Mix around, and they could definitely get Patchy Mix.
They could get those guys. They're really good. Well, even then, it's like they didn't even want Koji Horiguchi, dude. Like I don't.
That was an L. That was a big L.
I don't understand what they're doing. But then they did sign Kai Sakura, who Koji fucking lost to. You know what I mean? Koji beat him in the rematch.
Wait, Koji and Kai actually fought?
Yeah.
I thought Koji fought exclusively a fucking flight when we fought in Japan.
No, he fought in bantamweight a couple different times. And they
fought
in
Japan?
They fought twice, I believe. And Koji beat him in the rematch. Yeah, so he lost the first time, came back and knocked him out. in the rematch.
Fuck, you're right. That's crazy.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's like they could have got both of them, and they could have had a storyline built up there.
Yep.
Because Koji could have came back, fought on flyweight, had a pretty good run in flyweight, and then transitioned to bantamweight, and they could have made that fight happen at any point in time, in the exception of Kai's career and Koji's career while in the UFC.
Yeah, honestly, it's fitting that the next subject is about the UFC antitrust trial because like they just don't give a fuck.
And not even just that, but imagine the great Japanese card they could have built up with Rinya Nakamura, Kai Asakura, Koji Hiraguchi.
But why do that? But why do that when Billings, Montana will pay you fucking $3 million to go out there instead? You know what I mean? Like honestly, like, and obviously Billings, Montana is not going to get fucking the UFC. But you get my point here. Like they go to Salt Lake City because they're paying them out the fucking ass. They go to New Jersey, whichever. Like,
dude, Wichita, Kansas, dude. You know.
They're probably gonna pay them too. Like they'll go fucking anywhere if they'll pay you. That's why we got a fucking Saudi Arabia then, bro. It's not about good location. It's not about fucking let's grow the sport. It's about where can we get our fucking money.
And again, it's a business, right? It's a fucking business, right?
That's true. That's true. But are we also going to pretend that the margins on a fucking event that's coming down in Japan won't be fucking crazy good either? You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Especially depending on the location that they do it.
Because they would they could fill up the Saitama Super Arena with those guys.
Yeah, correct. And also, I understand why they don't do stadium shows because of the logistics and all this shit. I understand that's more difficult, and you can earn a lot of money anyways just doing an arena, whatever. Man, like, if they please, I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking right now. Dana, you know what to do, buddy. You got to go back to the Saitama Super Arena, buddy.
We're coming for you, Dana White.
Dana White, we're coming for you. No, you know. Like, anyways, yeah, man. How about you see Baki back with the PFL?
By the way, are you gonna preview both their cards this week? Because I think they're having a PFL card and a Bellator card.
Yeah, I mean the PFL one is going down on like.
Which for me, obviously, I am not disappointed. That's nonstop. That's all the entertainment I need in a week.
I didn't want to preview the PFL one because I believe it's going to go down at a time where we're not going to be this will be uploaded by the time it's already out.
It's already concluded.
Friday. So yeah, it's gonna be Friday at 4. They're starting the card.
Can we see the headliners real quick? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let me just look up PFL 20.
See what the main fights are on it.
Yeah, give me a sec. Pulling up the wiki.
Josh, you should be more unprepared. No, I'm just
kidding. You know what, buddy?
I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing you. I'm cock teasing you. I don't know why you got.
You're always bullying me, bro. Yeah. All right. June 21st, Salt Lake City. Man, they're going all.
By the way, Mads Burnell, Clay
good
Collard,
card actually.
Great matchup. I never would have thought about.
It's actually a good card actually. Clay Collard, Mads Burnell, Impa Kasinge.
Yags versus Simon Beyong.
That's actually a banger. I like that.
Can you go down a little bit? I can't really. Oh, there we go. Alex Pelosi, Antonio Carlos Jr. Another great fight I never thought of.
Premise.
Yeah. And a Piccolotti
there. Tom Breeze. UC veteran Tom Breeze.
To be honest, their fights, like the PFL fights, have gone up in quality since they've Andrew Titus Collard Brexton banger of a fight right there.
That's actually good, yeah.
But what was I gonna say? By the way, Sergio Casio right there.
Yeah.
Another good guy. But I was gonna say, ever since like, dude, and it disappoints me too, because it's like, look at how good these matchups are, and they're fighting in the tournament. Now think about it. What if they got rid of the tournament and we could just match make any of these guys at any capacity based off rankings?
Or how about this? What if we just have the tournament be who fucking wins advances? Let's not introduce points like we're the fucking NCAA. Like we're not. No, dude. Stop. This is not fucking cricket. This is MMA, bro. Like let's just. That's always been my major issue, dude. That's that. No elbows. That's it. That's fucking it, dude. Like I just don't get it. So that card, the PFL card this week is actually PFL 5, very good.
Oh yeah, doing Salt Lake City, Utah.
I know. Yeah, but it's actually, in my opinion, better than the Bellator card, which I was gonna have as preview as well. Bellator Champion Series 3 going down from Ireland.
By the way, has anybody kept up Saturday? A stat if collectively the Bellator guys have found more success in the PFL than the PFL guys?
No, but I think that's correct. Just based off of what I've seen, I feel the Bellator guys have a lot more success. And also, we had that Bellator PFL show where Bellator fucking stomped them out, and the only win was Hen Ferreira,
who beat an ancient Ryan Bader at heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of a good matchup for him anyway. But yeah, man, look, I mean, we'll hit this one too. Might as well preview this one real quickly before we go and move on. So I had in the rundown anyway. Jason Jackson gonna headline this one against Ramzan Karagomov. Another Ov fighting this weekend. Paul Hughes, we mentioned earlier, the hyped up prospect, making his promotional debut
against Bobby King. That is not King Bobby Green.
No.
That is
Bobby King. Very different people. It's Sinead Kavanaugh, Arlene Blanco, 2 former Bellator Women's Title Challenge. Should be fun. Dara Kelly back here against Mateus Pronon.
Dalton Rosta, one of my guys up there.
Dalton
Hassan Magomedov, brother of someone?
He is the brother of Zabit Magomedsharipov.
Yes.
This guy's 23-0. Yeah, dude. This kid's the real deal.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, man. The brother of Zabit.
It's the closest thing we get to Zabit without Zabit being around.
Exactly. I mean, dude, look, 23 years young, 9-0, 4-0 in Bellator, fighting this weekend.
You see how many times he's fought in Ireland? That's actually kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy. Yeah. Good for him, dude. I love. Hey, look, if we're not going to get Zabit, might as well watch his brother, right?
By the way, we're the same age as his brother.
Oh, fuck.
He's a year older than us.
Hate that. Anyways, excited to see the brothers to be back. Excited to see, the whole card, man. Nathan Kelly coming back here against Jose's chance. Nathan Kelly. And also Nate Kelly, who, funny enough, both these guys fought on the first Bellator card in Ireland. They both won.
Isn't that hilarious? Again together?
The 2 Nate Kellys.
Nate the Great Kelly.
Yep.
By the way, is this pro or Ami still?
Ami for him, and then pro for the other Nate Kelly.
Dope. Both from Ireland too. But do they come out of the same gym? Does Nate Kelly or Nathan Kelly, wherever, which one? The older guy.
Yeah.
Fight out of SVG as well.
Let me pull that one up. I want to say he does.
Probably say it on his. Oh yeah, SVG
yep,
Ireland.
SVG Ireland. Yep, the 2 Nate Kellys,
both representing SVG.
Both representing SVG. Both won last time in Ireland. Both looking to go 2-0 once again. That's a fun story.
Man, no Peter Quilley this time on the Ireland card, by the way.
Unfortunately.
Zombie.
Yeah. Well, he's lost.
The first time it was so good.
He's lost so many fights in a row. Ever since he had that song the first time when he fought Pitbull for the title, he's just been fucked up every fight.
But it was so good that first time.
And that first round was so fun. He was landed. He was looking good, and then it was. And all been downhill since then. The rest of the card, man, it's all right. Olena Kolienczyk, Ukraine's finest, coming back here. I'm excited to see her because I feel bad for her. She's that poor girl that fought Larissa Pacheco 3 times, and I got knocked out in the first round every single time. So hopefully she has.
At least it ended quick every time, right?
That's true. This is gonna be her first fight in Bellator. She's also an Invicta veteran, so stuff like that. Followed her career for.
By the way, guys, Invicta coming back next week. Sadly, I won't be there. I wanted to.
I know. I probably won't be there, but
I want to be there for the next one. If I can find out sooner, I'll be there for the next one. I really want to go out and support them.
It was short notice, 3 weeks. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, dude. Like shit, dude. I'm not Alex Bahia. I can't get there on that kind of time.
Exactly. Anyways, we'll go and move on, man.
Dude, I'm like Stipe, dude. I had to ask time off work.
Exactly. To get out of the firehouse, man. Shit. Anyways, bro. Two things to end with. This is a brief one because I said I was done talking about UFC Fighter Pay. I said I was done. I said I don't give a fuck. If they had that case, the 2 losses to get the UFC where they settled for a much lower figure than what most had estimated. And it's like, dude, you guys got to the fucking 10. You got the first and goal. You got to the 10-yard line, and then you just punted the ball off the fucking end zone, basically. And obviously, there were a few contractual changes and stuff like that. However, they originally expected to pay anywhere between $800 million and $1.6 billion. UFC settled for $335 million. The judge in the case, federal judge Richard F. Boulware, appointed by Obama, said that, this settlement, man, what's going on with that? That seems like a little bit low for how much and the evidence you showed me. I'm not going to approve the settlement today. So what happens now is they're going to go back for the next 2 weeks. They're going to discuss. They're going to come back. They're going to meet back again, hopefully with a revised offer. And we'll see what happens. If the 2 sides do not reach a deal, they could go to trial. So something to keep in mind there, boys. Just a slight update because I've given some people like updates for the last year or so on the show. So that's just one small one. Yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I really don't think there's a whole lot to say as of now, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, it does. Bad week for Dana. This came in on Friday, so right in the middle of Whittaker, Aliskerov, and then Chandler McGregor falling out. This news dropped. So it's like, fuck, dude. Dana, it's Goof Con 1 over there, bro. It's, you know what I mean? Just been a rough week for Dana, but we'll see what happens. Look, man, it's also fitting because I just mentioned the antitrust case. Saudi Arabia is looking to copy the UFC's format. Now hear me out. This story flew under the radar. I could not believe this story gained zero fucking traction. Saudi Arabia, His Excellency, Turkey Al-Sheikh, apparently working on creating a boxing league. Apparently he's in talks already with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, Frank Warren's Queensberry, and Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions to make a league similar to the UFC, but for boxing.
I think this whole reasoning for doing this, though, would be to make matchmaking significantly easier.
Correct.
Rather than having to struggle with this guy's with this promoter, this guy's with this promoter, and they don't want to work and do the split and this and that, TV deal, the zone, yada, 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 ESPN, you get the deal.
Correct. And if this deal goes through, it already, like the starting evaluation is at like $5 billion before they even held an event. So, yeah, man, big. And that would. How do you feel about this? Would you be down? Would you be TTF? It's one of those things where it's like, on paper, I don't like it because what it could lead to is a UFC situation where it's like, yeah, man, like these are all the best fighters, and we're not gonna let them fight anybody else, and they're even more locked in. So let's say, for example, who's another big promoter out there? Boxer, you know what I mean? Which has guys like Chris Eubank Jr. and I think they even have Connor Benz, but still with Matcher. But you know what I mean? Savannah Marshall.
They'd be outside looking in.
They would be outside looking in. And now those guys are even more locked out. You know what I mean? From fighting than if they would have not created this league in the first place.
Because then they would have to negotiate through these guys.
And also, they could also, at this point, if there's a league and you have this set up, they could just do what they do in the UFC and just have your fucking, hey, Devin Haney. How much did you make? You made $25 million against Ryan Garcia? Pff, kiss my ass, dude. You're gonna get $2 million. You're gonna like it, bitch. Where else are you gonna go? You know what I mean? Because that's what happens in the UFC.
Also, they maybe be forced into matchups, which I don't think inherently would be bad.
Correct.
At the high level, at the highest level.
Correct.
Yeah.
However, it could still be used in the same way the UFC does, where it's like, who's the guy we want to build up right now? Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida's lost 7 fights in a row. You want to fight? You want to fight Thomas Almeida? You get how it. You know what I mean? You know how it works. So it's like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do think there's good and both sides to it. The good, obviously, being
they're like Ben Whittaker. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Ben Whittaker. You want to fight? I don't even know who the fuck. You gonna fight fucking Ricardo Mayorga or some shit, like just a super faded fucking do the UFC. They like,
you wanna fight Chavez Jr.?
Shogun, who? You're 43 years old. You wanna fight 21-1 Il Horfataria right now in your final fight? Like fucking no, too bad, buddy. Like that's just the way it works. So for boxing, that could be bad too, obviously. But I do think that it can work a lot better as a whole. You know what I mean?
By the way, are we even talking about boxing a little bit? Or did you even get to watch it?
I caught most of actually watched that more than I watched UFC card.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, but it was pretty much what we expected.
Yeah. I mean, look, Gervonta, Frank Martin looked good early though.
Early,
and I feel like that's the case for everybody but Ryan. I feel like he fucking hated Ryan because he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna down this motherfucker early, make it personal." Frank Martin though came out, looked sharp. Got knocked the fuck out though in round 8.
Typical Tank Davis buildup though. He tries to analyze you a little bit, come forward, but not enough where you're gonna hit him.
He's.
Can I be honest? I still think Isaac Cruz is probably his hardest matchup if they fight again.
I agree with you. I think if him and Ryan run it back, I don't think Ryan's gonna beat him.
Yeah, and it's more or less because the difference is, Tank's come forward against these guys, but the thing is, Isaac Cruz is right there too.
Exactly. That motherfucker just always stays marching. And dude, that win over Raleigh was impressive shit because Raleigh wasn't in that for. Like, look, dude, Raleigh had moments against Gervonta. Dude, he wasn't in that fight for a fucking second against Isaac.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Isaac Cruz, most disrespected guy in this whole division.
He's a bad motherfucker, man. I really like that guy.
I love my guy, Isaac Cruz. You ever seen him? He's like a simple guy.
He's a very quiet guy.
Family guy.
Yeah.
His wife is like I'm not saying this in any, but like just like a regular chick. She's not a model. She's not like an Instagram model. She's nothing.
Which I always
just
like
someone from her town, Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Benavidez also picked up a win and then said afterwards he's going back down to 168.
Yeah, he's like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah, he's like, I did not like this. You know what I mean?
To be honest though, like if he just made that permanent move, he's not beating either one of the other Bs in that division. B-ball or better beef.
So you might as well. You know what I mean? He got his one. He's like, he got a title. He's like, fuck it, I'm done.
I'm done.
I respect that.
I got that claim,
Since we're talking about boxing, this one's not even listed on there, but I do want to get your quick thoughts on it. Have you heard this? Manny Pacquiao officially. Now we've known he's been out of retirement for a while, having exhibitions and so on and so forth. Apparently he's going to try and make history fighting, I believe it's WBC champion Mario Barrios to become the oldest welterweight champion of all time. And I think that would also be breaking his previous record. Because now he's 45. And I think he was 42 when he beat Keith Thurman. Did you hear about this?
No. Because he had that shit announced with Ryzen.
Correct. So they announced that. That's why it
What was it again with Ryzen?
Yes, against Shushiro Suzuki, I think.
Was it kickboxer? MMA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a MMA fighter, not as well known. Manny Pacquiao exploring fall bout against Mario Barrios.
How advanced are these talks? Like, are we like there? Like, we're negotiating, we're getting money like figured out.
I mean, he said himself 9 days ago that it's in the works. What that means? We're still under negotiation. The fight has not materialized yet, but the negotiation is ongoing. He hinted that the eventual fight would be in November or December, but he said his mind currently is on Suzuki. Yeah.
Can you imagine he fights Mario Barrios, turns around, fights Chitra Suzuki?
Wait, he said his fight with Suzuki is not an exhibition. He said right here, this is not an exhibition, it's a 3-round fight. We'll be looking for a knockout in this fight, so you better watch. There'll be a lot of action in the ring, and of course, I'll do my best to win by knockout. Thank you. I had no idea this fight was... Wait, is this an actual pro fucking fight? That's way more interesting.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you.
Oh, dude, I had no idea. Okay, I thought the fight... I didn't even care because...
You thought it was an exhibition?
Well, yeah, like he's been doing those.
Come on, dude, he's not Floyd either, though.
Damn, okay. Well, anyways, man, so he's supposed to fight Suzuki in Ryzen, and then he's also going to try and fight... Wow, yeah. According to this, somebody says it is an exhibition, but I mean, Pacquiao himself said it wasn't, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, man, you excited to see 45-year-old Manny Pacquiao back on the ring?
Fuck yeah.
I'll watch it. If there's a motherfucker who I think's proven that like he can fight into his 40s and I can just not down him, it's fucking Manny Pacquiao.
Hey, you saw what he did to Keith one time, Thurman.
Yeah, Keith. He also, who did he beat before that? Was it Lucas Mateus or something?
Something like that, yeah.
And even he lost to Ugas, but like he had moments.
Yeah. He was there.
It was a tough matchup too. Bigger guy, short notice.
Short notice. Last minute change up. I forgot who was he supposed to fight originally there.
Spence.
Fuck. Could
Which
you imagine?
Would have been a banger.
What if he would have beat Spence?
I even think stylistic,
before Bud.
That would have been so fucking funny, dude.
And Bud's like,
and I remember, dude. I remember at that point too. That's whenever Bud was trying to get a fight with anybody. He was his own, with Top Rank, and Top Rank wasn't working with anybody.
Everybody said Boots Ennis.
Yeah. He's like, fuck.
But you saw Boots has a fight like in Philly or some shit.
Yeah,
like against a random guy.
We even talk about your boy Sabrina Matias.
Yeah, he lost. He underestimated the Australian.
Got out.
Down under.
Got down under. Dude, 2 guys in a row. Yeah, fucking Montana Love, super hyped up. Handed him his first L. And then Sabrina Matias, who I guess Matias already lost before that, but you get my point. Super hyped up. Leon Piero is a bad motherfucker, man. You got to give him credit.
The Aussie guy?
Yeah.
He was underestimated.
Yeah.
He underestimated him.
Good for him. He said, I saw him put up a post on Twitter. He's like, I bet on myself and I fucking won. It's like, yeah, dude, good for that kid, Good for that guy.
That's what this sport's about, bro.
Yeah, boxing's picking up right now, man. Love me some boxing. Anything else should we talk about? Because we kind of just rambled for the last bit,
I mean, outside of that, Josh, I'm excited to come back next week. Nothing, and I say it every single time, nothing's funner than previewing a pay-per-view, let alone also the follow-up after the pay-per-view and doing the recap show.
Sir.
The only thing that sucks after that is a lot of the cards suck dick after the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
so that's never fun.
The unfortunate part is that June is supposed to be, and you and I talked about this we talked about this off screen like a lot. June's supposed to be like a massive month for the pod.
But it's been up and down.
Just in terms of like the names. And most of those big names did not end up fighting this month. So that really sucks. And then July, I mean, we got Macy Barber, Rose, and Denver. We got an Apex card without a main event.
But I will say, and we do get a week off this month.
Correct. And then we got the fucking worst poster of all time, by the way.
Worst poster of all time, but the card is good, though.
That's correct. UFC 304, Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, Tom Aspinall Blades. You got these guys.
Great pay-per-view for us Americans. It's not a great pay-per-view for those in London who have to wake up at midnight or whatever to watch this shit.
And after that, we got the Abu Dhabi card, which is a banger. But we're going to have a rough month. We're going to have a rough
The beginning of the month will be rough, but the end of the month will close out hard.
I know.
But we'll get through it, Josh. We go through these growing pains. We've talked about sports when there were no sports to talk about. We talked about sports when the UFC was fighting on Fight Island.
Yeah, exactly.
We fucking made it happen. We talk every single week about UFC Apex cards that you don't give a fuck about, but we do.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. I gotta ask before we close out. This is the last subject of the day. Is that UFC 304 poster the worst poster you've ever seen as far as the UFC goes? Look, I'm gonna
It's rough.
blow it up.
It's rough, but I don't think it's the worst. There has to be something worse.
You know what my personal pick has always been? I don't even think people remember how bad this one was. UFC 249. Not 249, excuse me. UFC 246. McGregor Cowboy.
You know what's funny? I kind of like that. But what they should have done is clean down the middle.
Both guys.
Even divide, yeah.
Yeah, instead they put Conor to where he's much bigger than Cowboy.
Yeah, it just looks odd. This was actually just poor design, in my opinion. Yeah. The design had potential. They just fucked it up. Like I said, what they should have done is have like a perfect, they had them the same size, cut down the middle, and then have them half.
I agree with
you. With the flag behind it.
By the way, that Abu Dhabi one is kind of weird too.
This is a little odd, yeah, but it's not that bad. It's unique.
It's, you know.
Well, we've said for a while that the UFC posters suck dick. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not even gonna try to like. I can't remember the last UFC poster I liked. Dude, that shit goes hard.
Dude, we gotta go back to like UFC 40, like those absurdly over the top ones.
I don't mind this, dude. I love this.
I fuck UFC 40.
See, the thing is, though, it's fitting for the time. I'm sure at the time you're kind of like, you know, I don't know at the time how you would have felt. But
I think it's just a society thing, dude. Like everything, like it's like I've seen other people talk this, like shit back in the 2000s. It was like more colorful, more like unique. Yeah. Now everything's kind of like white, gray. We're in a gray society.
What's the word for it?
We're in a gray society.
They do. It's a style. It's like
minimalist.
Minimalist, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, or like clean. Like there's a sleek kind of minimalist look. Yeah.
Yeah. No. If you left it up to me, the world would look like you ever play Jet Set Radio for the Xbox.
No.
It's like, well, fuck. That's fucking. You won't get this reference unless I pull it up. Then. So it's like. Just like super colorful, you know, over the top.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this type of vibe for the Sega Dreamcast. They had one on Xbox too, I think.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was like a skating game, but you get my point. That's the shit I like. I don't like fucking the UFC 304 poster or whatever. But you know, hey man, it is what it is. I actually like to as a former graphic design guy. You know what I mean? Whenever I was in school, I made posters. Okay, you know what I mean? I made pamphlets for.
I'd almost love to see you design a UFC poster now.
I bet I could. It's funny because this is the last thing I'm going to bring up. I think it's a funny story, and it's a story I don't know if you remember. Do you remember in senior year of high school, we were in digital? Do you have the same digital design class?
Yes.
So I don't know. Did you ever get assigned to do like any work, like school?
Oh no,
programs?
You took the follow-up class for it. I didn't. That's why.
Okay, so in the follow-up class, second semester, I had to do I remember this. I had to do a basketball program. And they gave me, with that, they gave the rosters and they gave the pictures of the teams or whatever. And all of them, except for one school, had the heights and the weights. So it was Wyandotte was a school. Wyandotte did not have the heights and the weights. So I just went through and I looked at each guy really closely. He was like, he's about 6'2". He's about 6'2". This motherfucker's 6'1", 180. This guy, and then there was one guy who
who was the unit.
No, I just picked one random guy and I was like, that guy's 6'7", and I put it in the thing. And then nobody said shit to me, dude. Nobody said anything. Funny. That was the real. It was a real basketball tournament program. I have it over there. You could see like 6, 7.
Could you easily access it? Like you'll show it to me afterwards.
Yes, exactly. I have the exact thing, and nobody said anything to me. And it was the fun. They sold this shit for like $1.
Didn't you do some shit with wrestling too? Like you put like WWE wrestling.
So this one did not get used. So it was that was a real thing where the teacher specifically came to me and was like, yo, you got to do this and it has to look professional. And I did it all professional except for that part. Right. So it like flew under the radar. So for this one, it was like, we have to do stuff to advertise our programs, our after school programs. So they had wrestling, they had football, they had not hockey. We don't have hockey. Golf. Yeah, right? We had golf and we had basketball and all that shit. So I had like a poster where like all those sports were like placed, and then for wrestling I had a cartoon guy jumping off the turnbuckle hitting somebody with a drop kick, and it was like, yeah dude, that's some real wrestling right there. Oh man, yeah. So anyways, I'm Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _I1 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. Fastly approaching 1,600 subscribers. Hope you guys Stick along for the ride. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Peace and butt grease. No mouse click today.